In this video, we are going to discuss about the concept of self-referential structures and singly linked list. So what do you mean by self-reference? So a particular point that has been referred to itself. So let's say, for example, first let us understand what do you mean by self-referential structures. So basically a structure that is going to contain a reference to a data of its same type is called as a self-referential structure. So basically we have the structure members of different data types, and one of the member is going to contain a reference of its own type. That is called as a self-referential structure. So your self-referential structure contains a pointer to a data of the same type of the structure itself. So basically when we try to declare a particular structure, we have the data type and then the data member, that is a structure member. So one of the structure member is going to contain a pointer of the same type of the structure itself. So let's say, for example, this is going to be a foundation for your data structures. Data structure is a wide area in computer science. So now moving forward, first let us try to understand how your self-referential structure looks like. So basically we used to create a structure and then we used to give the name of the structure. So let's say, for example, I create a structure node. The name of the structure is node and I use the keyword that is struct. So now within my structure, I'm having the data member. The first data member is a data itself of integer data type. So some kind of information, I'm going to store it in a structure member that is data, and that data is of an integer data type. Since we are discussing about the self-referential structure, I create another structure member. And if you note here, you can see we have a pointer variable. This particular structure member is a pointer variable. And if you see the data type of this particular data member, that is next. So next is a pointer variable, and this next is of data type, that is structure, and that structure is of type node. Okay, so here what happens is I'm trying to create a structure that is node, and that structure node consists of two structure members. The first member is actually an information that has been given a variable name, that is data of integer type. The second is actually a pointer variable, and that pointer variable has a data type of structure node. And remember, this pointer variable is having a data type of the same structure itself in which it has been defined. So that is called as a self-referential structure. So this is my structure. Okay, so one of the particular structure member is having a data type of the structure itself, and that is called as a self-referential structure. So your self-referential structure here, if you see, as I told you, it has a structure member data of integer type, and you have a pointer variable that is next, and next is of the node structure type. Next is a pointer variable that will hold the address of another node. So when I'm trying to create, so basically when we talk about structures, that is especially the self-referential structures, we try to connect it with the linked list. Linked list is one type of data structure. We will be discussing that in this video in the forthcoming minutes. So but as of now, we just try to understand. So next is a pointer variable. So it need not be only the name next, you can give any variable name. So this particular variable will be of a pointer variable, or this particular structure member is of a pointer variable that will hold the address of another node. So basically your node will contain a data and then the address of some other node. So first let us try to understand what do you mean by a linked list. So as I told you, self-referential structures, they form the base for developing your data structures, and the linked list is one type of data structure where you try to collect the data elements in a linear manner, just like arrays. So in arrays, we have the elements or the information in continuous memory allocation, right? So here in linked list also, we have the collection of data elements that are available in a linear manner. So your data, every data element is being identified as a node, or you technically call it as a node. The data structure is used to implement the other data structures. So basically your linked list, it is one of the data structure that is helpful in implementing the other data structure. The way in which you are going to organize your data is called as a data structure. So the manner in which you are going to store your information that is called as a data structure in computer science. So basically there are a couple of types. One is a linear data structure and the other one is a non-linear data structure. Here, let us say for example stacks, queues, trees and graphs. These are some of the data structures that are available in computer science. So all this means in which way you are going to store your information or in which way you are going to organize your information. That particular technical term is called as a data structure. So basically stack, queues, trees and graphs, these are some of the examples of data structures. So basically your node, as I told you in linked list, you identified the information in a node and every node will have a data and then the pointer to the next node. So as I told you here, if you see the structure of the node in this previous concept, here we saw a node has been defined and every node will have some data or it will have some kind of information, and another structure member within the node is the pointer variable that will point to the address of the next node. Okay, so basically your node will have a collection of data and then the a pointer variable, so that particular pointer will actually refer to the address of the next node. So first let us try to compare what is the difference between linked list and then arrays. So basically your both your linked list as well as arrays, they have the collection of data elements in terms of a linear manner. Okay, but there is a simple difference. In your linked list, you are not going to store your information in the contiguous memory like in array. If you take the concept of array, you have the elements that are being stored in the continuous memory allocation, but which is not the case in terms of linked list. Basically, the memory is getting allocated dynamically in terms of a linked list. Okay, so your linked list is not going to store the information in a continuous memory, and moreover, it does not allow the random access of data. You can access the information only in the sequential manner. So in array, we have the concept of index. In order to access a particular element, you can access the element with the help of the index, but which is not the case in terms of the linked list. So here you cannot randomly access the data, but you can access the data only in the sequential manner. You can add any number of elements in the list. In a linked list, you can add any number of elements, which is not possible in terms of an array. In array, once the size has been fixed, only within that particular size you can store the number of information. So let's say for example, I create an array of size 100. Only 100 elements can be stored within the array. So it's actually something like kind of a static size, which is not the case in terms of linked list. So linked list is something dynamic. You can keep on adding any number of elements in the list. There is no restriction. So it is also efficient in order to store related information, and it can perform insertion, deletion and updation at the cost of extra space needed to store the address of the next node. So whenever you are trying to insert a new element, then what happens is you have to make some changes in the pointer variable where it is trying to point to the next node. So that is the point here where we are trying to spend some extra space that has been required to store the address of the next node. So this we will see with an example so that you can understand this point pretty easily. So in what way your representation of in what way your linked list variables are being stored, in what way the data that is present in a linked list is getting stored. So here let us take an example of an employee record. So this particular employee record has got the employee ID, name and then the salary. So let us just try to understand that this is not the actual memory representation, but for a theoretical concept we will first try to understand how the records are getting pointed in a linked list. So normally in an array what happens is the records are stored in a continuous memory allocation. So let's say for example here I have created 5 employee records. So if you see the concept of array, what happens is all these 5 records will be stored in the continuous memory allocation. So let's say for example all these 5 records will be stored up to the 5th row, let us say for example in terms of an array. But in linked list what happens is it is actually of a self-referential structure. So you will have the data and along with that you will have a pointer variable that will be pointing to the next node. That is what we have seen so far. So what happens is, let's say for example you start with the record in the memory location 1, and what happens is the next record will be pointing. See, if you see here you have the node that is next. You have the member that is next. So this next is going to point to the physical memory location where the next record should be present. So what happens is the next record is being present in the fourth memory location, and if you see the fourth memory location, you can see the address of the next record where it is available. So the next record is available in the sixth memory location. So the third record is present in the sixth memory location, and if you see the sixth memory location, you can see the physical location of where the next record is being present. So the next record is present in the memory location, that is 8. And if you see the memory location 8, it has got the fourth record, and that particular fourth record has got the physical location of the next record. So the next record has got the memory location, that is 9, and in the ninth memory location you can see that you have the fifth record. And if you see the record of next, if you see the data that is present in the next, it has been referred as -1, or which means it is null, in order to represent that this is the end of the particular set of records. So this is how your memory representation of linked list looks like. So basically you will have a data, and that data, it will have a follow up on the next record with respect to the address location of the next record. So every node will have a data, and it will have a pointer to the next record, or it will have the address of the next record. So at the last record, what we are going to do is we are going to give the address of the next record as -1 or null. So which means this -1 or null indicates that the number of records are getting terminated. So this is the memory representation of the linked list. So now we are going to see about the singly linked list. So singly linked list is something that is the simplest type of your linked list data structure. So every node will contain a data, and it will have a pointer to the next node of the same data type. So basically you are defining a structure. So the structure will have a data, and it will have another member that is a pointer variable, and that pointer variable will point to the next node of the same structure itself. So the node is going to store the address of the next node. So here, let's say for example, you have a starting node. And that starting node is going to point to the first record. And let's say for example, the first record is going to point to the second record, and the second record is going to point to the third record, and the third record is going to point to the fourth one, and the fourth one to the fifth one, and the fifth one to the sixth one. Here if you see, I have just given the data values as in numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and I have not given any value in the in the second element. In the second element I have not given any values. Actually these values will point to the memory location of the next record. So let's say for example, so what will be the representation of the start node? So basically your start node will also be like this. It will have a data, and it will have a pointer variable, but in your start node you will not have any data. Instead it will have a pointer variable. And that pointer variable will point to the physical location of the first record. It will have the address of the physical location of the first record. So your first record in turn will have the data, and it will have the physical location of the second record in this particular node. So we'll see an example, then you can have a clear understanding. So here what happens is, basically you need a start node or you need a head node in order to refer this particular node will refer to the physical location of the first record, and it will not have any data. Your head node or the start node will not contain any data. It will simply have the address of your first node that is present in your linked list. Okay, so always remember all these memory allocations are going to be dynamic. So that is why I have not given the addresses over here. Okay, so it is going to be dynamic, so it will not have a continuous memory location. Every node will not have a continuous memory location. So here what happens is, in order to terminate my end record, what I'm doing is I'm giving the name of the, I'm giving the data that is present in the data node, and I'm just trying to give the pointer value as null in order to indicate that this is the end of the linked list. Okay, so this particular linked list, a singly linked list, will have data, and then it will have a pointer to the next node. Okay, that is of the same data type. So there are many types of linked list: singly linked list, double linked list, circular linked list, but we are going to focus only on the singly linked list. Okay, so basically it will have a, so we are going to identify the data element in terms of a node. So every node will have a data, and it will have the pointer to the next node. Okay, so we'll see an example of how to create a node and how to insert the elements in a singly linked list. So as I told you, we start off with the start node, okay, or the header node. Okay, so your header node, initially what happens is it will not have any data. It will not have any data. So for the start node or the head node, what we are going to do is we have to first allocate a memory location. So this will be again dynamic. So your start node will not have any data. So that is why I have just represented the data as -1. And initially when we try to create this particular start node, this start node will not point to any memory location or any node. Okay, so that is why I have just represented the next node as null. Okay, so it is not going to, your start node initially it will not point to any node. So that is why I've just mentioned it as null. So now let's say, for example, I'm trying to create the first node. When I'm trying to create the first node, the first and foremost thing is that, so let's say, for example, I'm creating the first node. So the data that is present in my first node is 101 and the memory space has been created dynamically. Okay, remember this particular memory space will be created dynamically, and this particular start node, the first node will not point to any other node. So that is why the memory location of the next node is being terminated as null. So which means now I'm going to create this particular node. So always remember, in your linked list you will always have the start node. And here I have created my first node. So I have just represented as node 1 for your notification. I have just given a representation of node 1. Now what happens is, in my node 1, it contains the data that is 101 and it contains a pointer to the next node. So since we are not going to create the next node as of now, I am just giving the address as null here. So which means this particular node is not going to point to the next node. Okay, and remember, this 1010 is the physical location of your node 1. Okay, so 1010 is the physical memory location of your node 1, which has been assigned dynamically. Remember, it is not a static one. Okay, now since this particular node has been created, now remember, your address, or what to say, your pointer variable that is present in your start node should exactly point to the address of your first node, as I told you in the some time back. So what happens is, this is my start node. So from null, what I have done is I have just updated the address. I have just updated the address of your first node. Okay, from null to 1010. So always remember, your start node will have no data, but it will point to the address of the first node. Okay, so here from null, what we have done is we have updated the pointer value as 1010, that is the address of the first node. So basically what we are supposed to do is, when we try to create the start node, we start off, when we try to create the start node, we assign the data value as -1 and we assign the pointer value as null. And when we create the first node, what we do is we assign the data value and then we assign the pointer value as null. And once the node 1 has been created, you have to ensure that the pointer value that is present in your start node should be updated to the address of your first node. Okay, so this is very, very important. Now moving on further, what I'm going to do is I'm just trying to create my second node. Okay, so node 2 is getting created. So when I create the node 2, what I'm doing is I'm just giving the data value as 102. And remember, this node has been created as a result of the dynamic memory allocation. So let's say, for example, I have just created this particular node is present in the memory location 1212. Okay, so this particular node is not pointing to the address of the next node. Okay, so now what happens is, this is my node 2. So I'm starting off with my start node. The start node is pointing to the address of the first node. Now if I want to add node 2 after node 1, then what will be the change? So here what I'm trying to do is, in my linked list, I'm trying to add the new node at the end of the last node that is present in your linked list. So what is the last node that is present in my linked list as of now? The first node. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just trying to point my start node or the header node to the address of the first node. Okay, so in the address of the first node, what I'm having is, I'm having the element that is data value that is 101, and now this particular pointer value of node 1 is pointing to the address of my second node. So from null, what we have done, from null we have just updated the address value, that is a pointer value, as the address of the second node. The address of your second node is getting updated in the pointer value of your first node. Okay, so your structure member that is next will have the value that is getting updated from null to the address of your second node. So now if you see the address of your second node, it is 1212, that is a dynamic memory allocation. So always remember, once your node has been created, the next node has been created, and if you're trying to insert it in your linked list, always remember, whenever you find a pointer value null in that particular linked list, that null pointer value should be updated to the memory location of the newly created node. Okay, so now what happens is I'm trying to create another record or another node, okay, that is node 3, that contains the value that is 103. Okay, so the memory allocation is 1002. The physical memory location where this particular node is present is 1002. So now we are going to see the changes, what is going to happen. So I start off with the start node. So there is no change in the pointer value. There is no change in the start node because the pointer value is pointing to the address of the first node, and there is no change in the first node as well because it is going to point to the address of the second node. Okay, and there is no change in the data element as well. But you see the node 2. Now the node 2, it has got the value that is 102, that is the data has got 102, but if you see the address, it is going to point to the newly created node, that is node 3. Okay, so from null, your physical location is going to point to the third node's address, okay, that has been dynamically created. So from null, you are going to update the pointer value of your second node to the address of the third node. Okay, so now you end up your 3 records. Okay, so by telling that, I'm just terminating this particular linked list by pointing the pointer value as null for the last element. Okay, so always remember, whenever you try to create the node, okay, first you have to go for the start node. Okay, your start node will not have any data, so I'm just going to point it as -1, and it is not going to point to any other node, so I'm just referring the address value as null. And when you are trying to create your first node, so you will have the data element and the memory is been allocated dynamically. So in technical implementation, we will be using the malloc function. So your pointer value will not point to any other node, since this is the first node that has been created. Now in order to create my single linked list, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to merge the start node as well as the first node. So when I'm trying to merge the start node with the first node, remember the null pointer value that has been available in your in your start node, okay, it should point to the address of the first node. So the address of the first node is 1010. That has to be updated in your start node. So what happens is, first you have to create both these nodes. Technically, you have to first create both these nodes. Then what you have to do is you have to get the address of the first node, and then that address of the first node should be mapped to the the address of the start node. Okay, so that is the pointer value of the start node. Okay, this is the procedure. Okay, so once you create the next nodes, okay, so the null value should be updated to the address of the next nodes. Okay, so this process continues until you create the last node. Okay, so once you create the last node, you have to identify the pointer value of null in order to indicate that the linked list is getting terminated. So next we'll see the practical implementation of how to create the start nodes, how to create the first node, and how you can insert the elements in a singly linked list. So now we are going to see the implementation of a singly linked list. So I'm just including my pre-browser directives, AO.h and conew.h. And I'm also including my stdlib.h. This is for the dynamic memory allocation of the node. So as I told you, I'm just going to create a structure node that consists of the data and then a pointer variable, so which is of the data type of struct itself. So here, let's say for example, I'm creating a structure. So this is my structure. Okay, so the structure is basically a node, and every node will have a data and then the address of the next node. Okay, so since the node is going to contain the address of the next node, I'm making use of a pointer variable, and that pointer variable is of the data type of the structure node itself. Okay, so basically the node consists of two structure members, the data as well as the address of the next node. Okay, so the address of the next node is being identified with the help of the pointer variable. So basically this is my node. Now in my main function, I am going to first create two nodes, that is the start node or the head node, and then my first node. Okay, so I'm creating two pointer variables. Okay, so that is both these variables, it indicates about two nodes are getting created. Okay, so I'm just trying to create two nodes. Okay, one is the header node and the other one is the first node. Okay, allocate the memory location for these particular nodes. Okay, so basically your head node, remember your head node will not contain any data. It will not contain any data, okay, and it will have the address of the first node. It will have the address of the first node, okay. So first what I'm going to do is I'm just trying to create a memory space for this head node, okay. So that's a dynamic memory has to be allocated for the header node, okay. So for the dynamic memory allocation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make use of the function that is malloc, and I'm just going to get the size of the data type, okay. So remember, your head node has got the data type that is of structure node, okay. So this particular data type size will be mapped, okay. So size of struct node, okay. So what happens here is the address of the node structure that is being mapped, and its corresponding size is being retrieved, and the corresponding size will be allocated, okay. The corresponding size of memory bytes will be allocated for the header node. But remember, your malloc is going to retrieve a void pointer, so you have to do a typecasting. So again, for the typecasting, I'm going to make use of the same data type, that is struct node, okay. So this is the syntax how you are going to create the memory space for each and every node, okay. This is not only for your header node, okay, this is for all the nodes that you are trying to create. So first and foremost thing, we are going to make use of the malloc function, and for that malloc function we have to specify what is going to be the size that you want to allocate, okay, dynamically. So here what I'm doing is I'm making use of the size of function, and that size of function should have an input argument of the data type, okay. So the node that I'm trying to create is of the structure node type, okay. So I'm going to make use of the same data type in my size of function. In the size of function, I'm just trying to make use of the same data type, okay. So what happens is, for this particular structure you will have a address pointer, okay. So in that particular address, how many bytes of memory space are available, that size will be taken, okay, and that particular size will be allocated for the memory allocation, okay. So malloc will give me a void pointer, remember. So malloc will be giving a void pointer, so that is why we are going for the typecasting, okay. So in your typecast, what you are trying to do is we are trying to do the typecasting to the corresponding data type, that is the node structure itself, okay. So now the memory space has been allotted for my start node or the header node, okay. So now there will be no data for your header node. Always remember, there will be no data for your header node, okay. So initially I'm just giving the value of -1. So remember, since you are using a structure variable directly, so here we are going to make use of the pointer to pointer operator or the array operator, okay. So here we are going to make use of the pointer to pointer operator or the arrow operator in order to represent the structure variable in terms of a pointer, and then the data member will be accessed, or the structure member will be accessed only with the help of your arrow operator or the pointer to pointer operator, okay. So initially your data has got no value, so especially for the header node you will not have any data, so I'm just simply naming it as -1, and the address of this particular header node will be initially mapped to the value that is null, okay. So now my header node is ready, okay, with the value that is -1, so which means there is no data, and it has got the address that is null. So this is my header node, okay. So no data, and initially we don't have any linked list that has been created with any node, okay. So simply your header node will have the pointer value as null, okay. So since it is not pointing to any node, okay. So now I'm just going to create my first node, okay. So here, let's say for example enter the value to create the first node, okay. So your first node will have a data, and you are going to collect the data through a variable. Let's say for example here I have declared one more variable, integer value. So before that, first we have to create the first node, okay. So I'm just going to make use of the same piece of code in order to create my first node as well, okay. So this is my first node, So again, your first node, okay, we are going to get the size of your structure node, and that amount of space will be allocated through the malloc function. It will return a void pointer. So that is going to carry the address of the first byte of the element, and that has to be typecasted to the corresponding structure node. Okay, so if you are still not aware about the concept of malloc or the dynamic memory allocation, you can just refer the previous video where we have discussed a lot on the dynamic memory allocation. Okay, so the first node has been created, and I'm just trying to put the value for the first node. Okay, so I'm just collecting the value from the user during the runtime, and okay, so what I'm doing is the data for the first node, okay, it has been identified and it has been assigned to the variable that is value. So whatever value has been got, or whatever information has been got from the user during the runtime, it is stored in the variable value, and that information has been assigned to the structure member data for your first node. Okay, so now your first node is not going to point to any other node. Okay, so I'm just referring the pointer value as null. But now your start node, or that is the header node, okay, so since you have created the first node, okay, the header node's pointer, okay, the header node's pointer will be pointing to the address of the first node. Okay, so this change is very, very important. Okay, so your start node is going to point to the address of the first node. Okay, so this is a very, very important change. Okay, so once this is done, so what happens is, so initially you will have your start node. Okay, so let's say for example something like this, -1, and let's say for example it was pointing to null, it was pointing to null. Now since your first node has been created, so let's say for example I'm entering the value as 100. Okay, so here I'm entering the value as 100. So then, so what happens is your first node, okay, this is how your first node will look like. Your first node will have a value like this. Okay, so this is going to be my first node. Okay, so it has a data that is 100, and it is not pointing to any other node, so that is why the address node is represented as a null. Okay, so your first node is created now. Okay, so that is with 100, and it has got the address null. Now what happens is your first node has been created, so the address of the first node should be pointed to the header node or the start node. So let's say for example I'm just giving the value as 1000 just for the reference, but it may differ. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to print these values. So I'm just going to the created single linked list is /n. So let's say for example I have the header node. Okay, so I'm just going to refer to the address. Okay, so let's say for example I'm just having the header node, and it is going to point to the first node data. Okay, so first of data. So I'm just completing the main function. Okay, head of pointer. I'm just trying to run the code. So I'm entering the value to create the first node. Okay, so I'm just giving the value as 100. So you can see the single linked list is created with the header node that is pointing towards the first node. Okay, so the first node will be 100. Okay, so your single linked list has been created. Now what we are going to do is we are not going to stop only with the record that is pointing to 100. Okay, so here let's say for example I want to insert the elements 100 followed by 200 followed by 300, like that it goes on, and I want to display my linked list. And I have to insert values in the linked list. Okay, so this particular process refers to the insertion of elements in your linked list. So I'm just going to write a small logic. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just making use of a while loop, and I'm asking the user to enter the choice. Enter your choice. /n1 for insertion, that is inserting a new node in your linked list, and two to display the linked list, and let's say for example /n3 to exit from the application. So I'm just going to get the choice from the user, %d, $choice. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create another variable here of the value that is choice. So once the input has been received from the user, I'm using a switch case function by passing the choice value as an input to the switch. So if the user has entered the case value 1, that is insertion, then I'm just going to again ask the user, okay, to enter the new node value. So remember, once your first node has been created, so I'm just taking this insertion concept, thinking that the new nodes are created at the end of the linked list. Okay, so I'm asking the user to enter the new node, so the new node value is getting entered, and now I have to ask the user to enter the value. So I'm just trying to create a function insertion by passing the value and then the head node. Okay, so you are reaching the end of your, you are trying to reach the end of your linked list. Okay, you are trying to reach the end of your linked list. So once, if I'm trying to add a new value, remember a new value is getting added or a new node is getting added. So let's say for example 200 is getting added, then the address of this particular node, should be updated in the address of the previous node. Okay, so for that particular logic, what I'm trying to do is I'm just passing the address of the start node. So I'm just calling this function. So before that, what I'm doing is I'm just trying to declare my function. So void insertion int in structure node start. Okay, since I'm passing the start node address, okay, so I'm just trying to retrieve the address of this particular node itself. Okay, so remember, here we are trying to pass the address of a node as an input argument. We are passing the address of the node as an input argument, and that is why what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to retrieve the address of the node in the function declaration itself. So in the function declaration, I'm just going to ask what is the value that is being supposed to get inserted, and I'm just trying to retrieve the address of the node that is getting passed, and that particular address of the node, okay, it is of a structured data type. Remember, it is of a structured data type, and the name of the structure is nothing but a node. Okay, so my insertion is getting happening, and I'm just giving a break statement. And similarly, if I want to make a display, okay, so similarly if I want to make a display, so I'm just giving the value that is the created linked list is. So it starts off with the head. Remember, it starts out with the head, and then we will be having the corresponding node elements. So I'm just going to call the function that is display, and I'm just going to pass the address of your starting node. Okay, the address of the starting node. Please watch this video carefully regarding the implementation. It's a little bit tricky, so I'm just creating my function declaration, and I'm just passing the address of the header node. So I'm making use of the same input argument. Okay, so this is my function display. So function declaration is done. Remember, the function declaration is done and the function call is happening here. Okay, so the function call is happening, So we are yet to write the function definition. So case 3, if the user wants to exit the application, so I'm just going to call the function that is exit, and I have a default case as well for invalid entry. So if the user is not going to type 1, 2 or 3, then your default case will be executed followed by a break statement. So my switch case is done, and my while loop is also done. Now what happens is we have to write the function definition. Okay, so in your function definition, so first and foremost thing is we are going with the insertion concept. So I'm just calling the function declaration statement as it is. So struct node star start. So remember, you are trying to insert a value, okay, or you are trying to insert a new node. So what happens is I'm trying to create a new node. Okay, so let's say for example I'm creating a new node. Okay, so struct node new node, and okay, so let this be. Now we are going to allocate a memory location for this particular new node. So I'm just going to copy paste the memory allocation code as it is. Okay, so the new node has been created with the memory allocation, and now the new node will have the data that has been passed to this particular function. Okay, so in the function call, whatever value we got, that value is getting passed. Okay, and this value is made a copy in the variable that is n, and that n is getting assigned to the data of the new node. And remember, your new node will not point to the new record as of now, so the pointer value is kept as null. And remember, you have the address of the start node. Remember, you have the address of the start node. Okay, so here what happens is I'm just trying to create another node that is P. Okay, so let's say for example P will have the address of your start node. Okay, so the address of your start node will be assigned in the node P. Okay, so address of start node will be assigned to the variable that is P. So P is actually a pointer variable that holds the address of another variable. So we are going to hold the address of the start node. Why? Because we are going to start from the beginning and we are going to insert the new at the end of your available linked list. Okay, so if you see the output window, you can see your start node has been represented with the head followed by the first record, that is 100. Now you are going to insert the new record, okay, after 100. So you are going to start from the beginning. So first you have to visit the head node, and in the head node you have to see what is the address that is getting pointed. And if that address is going to get pointed with a null value, then it has to be reassigned to the new node. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is, so I'm just going to check. So P is holding the address of head. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see whether P of this particular pointer, that is the head node's pointer, is not equal to null if this condition is true. Okay, so remember, your address of the start node is getting assigned to the value that is P. So your head node is actually a structure. Okay, your head node is actually a structure that will have the data. Okay, it has the data -1 and then the address of your first node. Remember the address of your first node, let's say for example 1010. Okay, so what happens is your P of the pointer, okay, your P of the pointer, okay, it is assigned to the value that is the address of your, it is pointed to the address of your first node. Okay, so always remember your head node, okay, your head node has a address value, okay, and that address value is pointing to the address of your first node. Okay, so here you have a conditional check, okay, whether your head of the pointer, so remember your P has got the address of head. Okay, it has got the address of head, or it is referring to the structure head. Okay, and there you have the pointer value. Okay, the pointer value is the second structure member in your node structure. Okay, So that is pointing to the value that is 1010. For example, 1010. Okay, so it is not equal to null. Okay, it is not equal to null. So it has got a value 1010. It has got the value 1010. So we are referring to that memory 1010, and there we are going to see what is the value of that particular address. Okay, so here we have the value that is p of pointer. Okay, we have the value that is p of pointer, and that p of pointer is pointing to 1010, which is not equal to null, which is not equal to null. So this 1010 is now getting assigned to p. This 1010 is getting assigned to the value that is. Okay, so the address of the start node is being given. Okay, the address of the start node is given, and in that particular address of the start node, you have the address field in that particular node. You have the address field in that particular node. Okay, so 1010 is getting visited. So 1010 is getting visited, and in 1010 we are going to see it has got a value that is null. Okay, so in 1010, that is the address of, it is visiting the address of the node 1. Address of node 1 is visited. Node 1 is visited, and in that address we have the data that is 100 followed by the address of the next node, that is null. That is null. Okay, and remember, your p of pointer is referring to the value that is null. Okay, so now your p value will have the value that is equal to null. Okay, so I just finish off this condition. Okay, so let me repeat again what happens. I have a function that is insertion. Okay, so the insertion will have the value that has been passed during the runtime. Okay, so during the runtime a value has been given, and that value has to be used to create the new node, and we are going to make use of the head node's address. Okay, so the address of the header node is getting passed. Okay, and that has been retrieved or caught with the help of your pointer variable. Okay, and that pointer variable is of the data type that is structure node. Okay, so inside my insertion function, what I'm doing is I'm just trying to create the new node, and what is the data that is getting assigned to the new node, and what will be the pointer value of the new node, because this pointer value is getting null. Why? Because the new node is not going to point to the next node. Okay, so now what happens is I'm just passing the address of the first header node, okay, or the start node, to the variable that is p. So remember, your p is actually a structure pointer variable. Okay, it's a pointer variable of a structure data type, that is node. Okay, so your node p will have a data and then the address field, that is a pointer field. Okay, and in the pointer field of p you are going to have the values. Okay, so the p will have the value that is the address of your start node. Okay, so in the address field of your start node you have the value that is 1010. Okay, so now we are going to check for the condition. Okay, so in 1010 in that particular address field, okay, so p is pointing to the head node. Okay, and there you are just going to see whether the pointer value is equal to null. Okay, now the pointer value is equivalent to 1000. Okay, because p of pointer indicates about what is the pointer value that is present in the header node. Okay, that is present in the header node. Okay, so that value is 1010, so it is not equal to null. The condition is true. Now what happens is I'm going to the p of the pointer value, that is, here I have the value that is your p of pointer is pointing to the address of the node 1. Okay, so in that particular address of the node 1 you are going to see what is the field value, that is 100. So the header node's pointer, it has got the value that is 1010. It is not equal to null. The condition is true. The condition is true. So now your p of pointer is pointing to the value that is 1010. It is pointing to the value that is 1010. So your p is getting assigned to the value that is 1010. Okay, so in the 1010th memory location, okay, in the corresponding 1010th memory location, okay, that is your address of the first node. Okay, this indicates your address of the first node. Okay, the address of the first node. Okay, so you are visiting 1010. So in that particular 1000, that's the address of the first node, you have got the value. Okay, so in that particular location you have got the value that is null, because in the address of the 1010 you have got the value that is 100 followed by the null value in your node. So this is how my node looks in the memory location 1010. So this null is pointing to actually the pointer value. Okay, so what happens here is you have in the 1010th memory location, you have the first node, and in that first node you have the p of data is equal to 100. P arrow operator data is pointing to the value that is 100, and p pointing to the pointer value will be having the value that is null. So now what happens is in this particular loop, your p value becomes null. P value becomes null. So now when you come out of this loop, okay, so what happens is null is not equal to null, the condition is checked, okay, it becomes false. It becomes false. Now what you are going to do is the address of the new node, okay, so remember the address of the new node, okay, so where is the address of the new node? The address of the new node lies in the variable that is new node, okay. Now this should be assigned to the p of pointer. So currently your p of pointer is in the location that is 1010. So in the 1010th location you are having the value that is 100, okay, you are having the value that is 100. Okay, so this is my node p. Let's say for example it is having the value 100. So earlier it was having the address field value as null, but now it should point to the new address of your new node, okay, and then your new node is pointing to the address value that is null, which means that there is no other node that is trying to get created. Okay, so this is pretty tricky, okay, but please try to understand the logic carefully. Okay, so whenever you are going to go for the insertion operation, you are supposed to start with the starting node. Okay, you are supposed to start with the starting node, and you have to see the address of the starting node. You have to see the address of the starting node, and ensure that you are trying to create the new node as well. You are trying to create the new node with the value as well as the data. The data as well as the pointer value that is equal to null. And once that has been done, so whatever address value that was present in your start node, okay, whatever address value that was present in your start node, okay, so it will be pointing towards the first node. It will be pointing towards the first node, and the first node address should be pointing towards the address of your second node. Okay, so this is very important. So this is how we are going to do the insertion process for your newly created linked list. Okay, so next we are going to see how you can do the display operation. Okay, so for display we are making use of the start node. So for display what we are doing is we are just passing the address of the start node. We are just passing the address of the start node, okay, for the display. And here what we are going to do is we are trying to get the address of your header node or the start node, okay, using the variable that is a formal argument, okay, a pointer variable. And here, so for example, I am trying to create a node p, okay, and the p is assigned to the variable that is start, okay, so which means the address of your header node or the start node is getting passed to p. So here what I'm going to do is I'm just going to refer what is going to be the address of your start node. That is, I'm just trying to see your start node will have the address pointer of the first node, okay, so that address pointer of the first node will be assigned to the structure variable, pointer variable, that is p. Now I'm just going to trying to see whether p is not equal to null. Okay, so p is not equal to null. If this condition is true, I'm just going to print. So here, let's say for example, %d arrow operator, and I'm just going to make use of the variable p, which is of a structured data type, and I'm just going to call the data itself. and since I want to pass to the next address, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see the pointer variable of that particular node, and that is getting assigned to the address value of P. So what happens is I'm just going to visit the first data. Let's say for example 100 is there, 100 will be printed, and your P of pointer, remember your node will look like this, 100 followed by the address that is 1020. Okay, so here your P of pointer is going to refer to the address of your second node, that is 1020. So 1020 will be assigned to the variable that is P. So here 1020 is not equal to null. The condition is true. Okay, so if this condition is true, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look for the data that is present in the memory location, that is 1020. So in 1020, if I'm having the value as 200, if I have entered the value as 200, then the 200 will be displayed. Okay, and since if it has got, if the second node has not got any value that is pointed to the next node, okay, so it will have the address field value as null. Okay, so in the memory location of 1020, we are going to see what is the address value that is being present through the pointer. Okay, so it has got the value null, so P will be assigned to the value null here. Okay, so P will be assigned to the value null. So null not equal to null, the condition is false. Okay, null not equal to null, the condition is false. So you come out of the loop, okay, and you come out of the function. Okay, so whatever value, whatever nodes that you have created, those values will be displayed. Okay, so the third one is case 3, that you are trying to exit from that particular functionality. Okay, so I'm just trying to run this piece of code. Start. So this is actually the warning is why, because here I have given the while condition is true, that is always true. Okay, so that is why you are getting unreachable code, not an issue. So I'm just trying to run this piece of code. So I'm just creating the first node with the value that is 100. So the linked list has been created. So your header node is pointing to the first node, that is 100. Now the user has to enter the choice whether to insert or display the linked list or exit. Okay, so here I made a small mistake. So let's say for example 100. Okay, so now the user has to enter the choice, that is insertion. Okay, so I'm just entering the new node value as 200, and again I'm going to insert one more value, that is 300, and I'm just asking the user to display the linked list. Okay, so here you can see the header value, it starts off with the header value, then it goes to the first element, that is 100, then the second element 200 is being displayed, and the third element 300 is also getting displayed. Okay, so all this is being meant that the new element is being, or the new node is created at the end of each and every node that is present in the last of the linked list. Okay, so I'm just going to give the value that is exit. I have created a couple of functions. Remember, I have created a structure that is node, that consists of data members, that is structure members, that is data, and another structure member, that's a pointer variable that points to the address of the next node. Okay, address of the next node, and I'm trying to insert new nodes at the end of the linked list, and I'm trying to display the linked list. So first I try to create the header node. Okay, so the header node or the start node will not have any data, and it has a pointer value that is null. Then I'm trying to create the first node. So the first node has been created, and its value has been retrieved, and that value is being mapped to the structure member data of the first node. Okay, so remember, the first is actually a pointer variable. Okay, that is of a structure data type. So we are going to make use of the arrow operator or a pointer to point operator. So the first will not have any other node to be pointed, so I'm just pointing the address field as null. Okay, so now your start node or the header node will have the address of the first node. Okay, so that is why we are updating the structure member pointer to the address of the first node. Okay, so for moving on, what we have done is we are just trying to create the we are just trying to insert the new nodes as well as to display the linked list. Okay, so I've just written the function for insertion. So for the insertion, we have to pass the value that is being given by the user during the runtime. Then the address of the start node is also given. Okay, so what I'm doing is the new node has been created and its data has been updated, and the new node has got a pointer value that is equal to null, because the new node is not going to point to the address of any other node. So what happens is I've created one more pointer variable p, and that will hold the address of your start node. Okay, it will hold the address of the start node. Okay, and in that particular address of the start node, we are just going to see what is the pointer value it is getting pointed to. So it has got the pointer value that is 1010, which is the address of the first node. Okay, it is not equal to null. So here we are just going to see it is not equal to null. So what happens is this particular value is getting updated to the variable that is p. So again in 1010, that is p has got the value 1010. In the 1010th field, we are going to see what is the pointer value that is being present, what has been the address of the next node that has been present. Okay, so that has got the value that is null, since we have not inserted any element. Okay, so that has got the value that is null. So we come out of the loop. So the new node address will be pointed to the 1010th location's address field. Okay, so the first node address field will be updated from null to the address of the new node. Okay, so that's how it goes on. So if you have any queries related to this particular video, you can post the questions in the comment section. Thank you for watching this video.